If you guys want to go ahead and follow us on Twitter at _PodRats. We just started it up. We have 0 followers and we're following nobody. So just give us a follow.
We'll suck your dick for a follow. Please follow us.
We will not.
Okay, well,
Brayden will.
Nah. Welcome, everybody, to the first ever, the inaugural episode of the PodRats movie show. I'm Brayden. Today we got Alex, Christian, and Hunter. And this is we're doing a movie show, and it's about movies, obviously. And we got credentials. Have we gone to film school? No.
Almost.
Have we ever recorded a short film?
Almost.
If you count high school.
Well, yes.
But you know what we do have? A love for movies.
Aww.
Yeah.
How cute.
So,
well,
no, we don't.
No, we hate movies,
don't have a
actually.
love for movies on this show.
No.
But the movie show, it's where we come to shit on movies.
I actually really hate movies, to be honest.
The two people talking right now are the biggest critics here. Me and Alex actually go to movies to enjoy them, not criticize them.
Art is open to criticism at all times.
That's true.
Does not mean that I hate movies. If I just don't like a movie, I don't like it.
That's fair. That's fair.
We saw Malignant yesterday. Last night. It was a topic of hot discussion.
Can I finish my David Lynch thought that I saved for...
Okay, yes, yeah. Talk about, so Hunter watched, what was it called?
I watched Lost Highway.
Lost Highway.
And I liked it. But, do you know Blue Velvet?
Yes.
Okay. I watched Blue Velvet. It was I
haven't seen Blue Velvet.
That's a hot take.
Really?
Yes.
Well, okay, so I've heard that Blue Velvet is supposed to be like the movie you watch for David Lynch if you haven't watched a David Lynch movie.
Yes, that is what everyone says.
It's his most normal one, in quotations.
Which might be why I didn't like it. I didn't dislike it. I gave it 4 stars, but I didn't like it as much as Lost Highway, which is really funny because everyone talks about how Blue Velvet is like the quintessential David Lynch movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked Lost Highway way more than Blue Velvet.
Speaking of David Lynch, I thought about this last night after we saw Malignant. And it made me think, because Christian liked Malignant so much, that it's not exactly the same. Because Malignant's more is campy. And David Lynch is just like surrealist. I wonder if Christian would like David Lynch movies.
I have, in fact, never seen a David Lynch movie. I don't think.
I would be interested
You'd have to list some off. I'm not
I'm not at all comparing James Wan to David Lynch. Because Malignant...
That's a bold comparison.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. The man that directed Aquaman.
The Aquaman King.
Okay. Let me just say James Wan, man. He did a great job on Malignant, bro. That movie was so good.
I will say, after the movie... Before I talk about Malignant, Alex, would you like to give your thoughts on what you thought about Malignant? It was very divided amongst the friend group.
Malignant is not a bad movie. I was explaining this to Christian on the way over. It's
Let me pull up
a
Alex's
decent
Letterboxd so I can fact check what he's saying.
it's a decent camp movie, and I get where people like it. There were just a couple scenes that had me laughing in the movie theater during a horror movie where I don't think I've ever laughed during a horror movie before.
What's wrong with comedic horror?
That was the point.
I know, and there's nothing wrong with that. It was just not my kind of movie, not my horror movie.
That movie, man.
Alex rated the movie 2 stars. 2 stars.
See, and that was after he slept on it. It was a 1.5 last night.
He didn't initially rate the movie, which I was happy with, because he didn't pull a Parker and just give it half a star.
Yeah, Parker, our other friend, gave the movie he saw with us his half star.
Parker,
it's essentially the worst movie ever made, if you ask Parker.
Yeah. Look up the scores on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb for Malignant, because on Letterboxd it is only a 3.1, so it's not like it's the greatest movie ever.
Right.
Yeah, it's just because the spread is so big.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who did give it a 2-star and
yeah. So on
2.5
on IMDb, you got the majority, about 20%, giving it 7 stars, and 15% gave it 10 stars.
So what's the overall? Is it like 8?
Overall, it's about a 6.4
Oh,
dang.
On what? IMDb?
on IMDb.
IMDb is a little harsh.
is.
What's wrong?
IMDb is harsh
Tomatoes?
on everything.
The thing about Malignant though is it's I feel like it's really an acquired taste movie. Just because like
It is.
I enjoyed the movie because it wasn't like any other horror movie. It was very like I didn't expect anything that happened to happen. You know, like I had predictions. I had like 3 different predictions. And
Yeah, I did too, and all of them were wrong.
and yeah, literally throughout the movie they were all wrong.
Yeah.
Literally every single one.
Yeah, I will say I'm in the middle about it because as I was driving home, I just liked it more than after it initially like the credits rolled. But I will say that movie didn't need to be 2 hours long.
It was a little lengthy.
That movie was way too long.
Dude, when we got home and I looked up the runtime and I saw like an hour and what, like 50 something minutes?
It's hour 51, I think.
Yeah.
51 minutes.
Yeah, hour 51. And I was like, that movie felt like it was 2.5 hours long.
It did.
Like
Yeah.
it felt really long.
They-
When we were
that's
sitting in the
bad pacing.
theater, I was like, I feel like this is a really long movie. And then when we got out and I saw that it was an hour and 51, I was very surprised.
They took a long time to set it up. It was a little slow, but like I don't know, the character development of our boy Gabriel was really good.
The chocolate from SpongeBob.
Yeah, man, he's cool, man.
I told Hayden on the way home. Hayden's my girlfriend.
Yes.
I told Hayden on the way home. There's a lot of movies where, like, they are just good movies, and like, if you say it's not a good movie, you are simply wrong.
Hey.
No, hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
So, like, if you see like Shawshank Redemption and you're like, this movie sucks,
Okay.
you are simply wrong.
Maybe. Yeah, sure.
You can have that opinion, but then like also this is just my brain. This is how I look at movies. But then there's also movies where like I completely objectively see if you would not like it. And this is one of those movies where like objectively, if you did not like this movie at all, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's completely fine.
I think because it is a camp horror, and the one camp horror movie that I can think of recently would be Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, we talked about that on the way home too.
And Cabin in the Woods, I think, is way better than this.
Yeah, I think so.
But as far as camp movies, I don't really like a whole lot of camp movies, and there's not very many camp movies that you can name, to be honest. Like everyone knows Cabin in the Woods. Yes, everyone knows Cabin in the Woods, and Hunter's seen Showgirls.
Showgirls, one of my favorites.
Um,
Absolute banger of a movie.
but I just don't know if I'm a fan of campy horror.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm really not either. Because like, I saw Cabin in the Woods like 6 months ago, and I didn't like it that much.
No. And one thing I will give James Wan credit for is I did not like the first 2/3 of the movie, but the last like 40 minutes,
that third act,
absolutely batshit insane.
Yeah, that third act was really good.
But I'll give credit for going there, for being weird. Where it'd be bad, where this movie would just be god awful, is if it was her all along, and it was just like her like imaginary friend, and it was just actually her, and it wasn't.
See, that's what I thought.
It wasn't her creepy parasitic spoilers. It wasn't her creepy parasitic brother coming out the back of her head and using her, where he runs backwards and breaks her arms every time.
That was so crazy, bro. That was such a crazy idea. That was so good. All right, well, that's
I like in the review I liked on Letterboxd how it talks about how James Wan took the Aquaman money and then made this movie. Of all the movies he could make, he took the Aquaman money and ran with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'll tell you what, the trailer for this movie, if you go back and watch the trailer, like I saw the trailer for it and I was like, this looks like shit.
Yeah.
But it was like on purpose.
Yeah.
Because even the trailer was supposed to be ass.
It was trying to bait you into thinking it was a classic ghost movie.
Yes,
and it was not.
And it's James Wan, so I was like, are we really just going to make a stereotypical scary movie again?
Yeah.
Because he talked about how this movie would be so different. And then I got scared because the trailer was like that. But hey, good job, James.
No.
Thanks, man. Good guy.
Well,
Right, me and him are on a first name basis.
That was a good review of *Malignant*, even though it wasn't the movie of choice for the podcast. Alex, you got some movie news for us, bro?
Yeah.
Movie
I'm gonna start with a personal favorite here. We got the Jungle Cruise sequel is in development.
Are you serious?
Now,
Jesus.
Alex,
One of the
There's a
best
sequel?
movies of this summer.
Alex is the only one of us that has actually seen Jungle Cruise.
They're missing out.
We wanted to see it in 4DX.
So,
Or not at all.
so how excited are you for a sequel? And does it say Emily Blunt and The Rock are coming back? I assume
We're
The
really
Rock
gonna
is,
talk about
of
Jungle
course.
Cruise right now?
We're talking about
We're
the
going,
sequel,
we're going to
man.
Jungle Cruise?
Yep, they are both expected to return. As along with the director from the first movie. So I'm pretty hyped. It was a solid 3 stars. I'd say it was
Three-star
a
movie.
what is this?
I'm gonna have to
10.
fact check your Letterboxd
pretty
again.
good movie.
Yeah, fact check the Letterboxd. What did he...
Fact check it.
Also, I'd like to point out the director of Jungle Cruise is the producer of The Shallows, the director of Orphan, the director of House of Wax. So I'm glad that
So Jungle Cruise was
I'm glad they got the horror movie man,
Jungle Cruise was just a different direction for him.
the B movie horror man to go with Jungle Cruise.
Let me just say these guys are in for quite the twist when they watch
Yeah.
Jungle Cruise.
We've never seen it, so you never know.
No, but in other news, this week we had Michael K. Williams died at age 54.
F in the chat.
Actor from The Wire, Lovecraft Country. And then Christopher Nolan working on a biopic of atomic bomb inventor J. Robert Oppenheimer.
J. Robert Oppenheimer. That might be interesting. I don't know though.
That does sound kind of cool.
It's I would say it sounds interesting because it doesn't sound as like visionary type as Tenet. Tenet might have been something he did that was too much,
True.
and so doing an actual true story might actually be better for him.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll be better than Dunkirk?
I don't know. I don't know how I haven't seen Dunkirk in so long that I don't remember how I feel about it.
I remember we watched that movie in the Cine Capri
I love Dunkirk.
Yes, we did.
in high school, I think.
We did.
And yeah, I remember it being really loud, and there was a clock the whole movie.
Christopher Nolan.
There was a metronome the whole time.
I think so.
It was to inspire tension.
I fell asleep hearing that metronome that night.
You fell asleep,
Came with them after
during
the
Dunkirk?
No, I left the theater and I was still hearing it.
Oh, okay. It was still in your head.
Yeah, man, it didn't go away.
I was going to say, Dunkirk's kind of a hard movie to fall asleep in.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
disagree.
So off of that, we'll get into the movie that we set to review, which was we saw Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings. Make sure to say Shang, not Shang.
Sean?
Shang-Chi.
Is it Sean or Shang?
Shang-Chi. We saw that last week. I'll give you a quick synopsis. Shang-Chi, for all the 3 people listening that haven't seen it. Shang-Chi must confront the past he thought he left behind when he is drawn into the web of the mysterious Ten Rings organization. Doesn't really give you a whole lot on the
No,
synopsis.
that's
Does it make you want to watch the
that's a
movie?
pretty shitty synopsis, man.
It's received pretty good reviews on Rotten Tomato critic
Tomatoes.
scores. Tomatoes, 92%, audience score 98%, and an 8 on IMDb, which is a very generous rating. Or, well, not generous, but it's a very good rating.
They
for
do be loving their
IMDb
Marvel
standards.
movies.
Yeah.
So far, it's gotten 166 million at the box office, which is pretty good for as far as the world of COVID in movies.
I mean, compare that to Black Widow. I think it crushed it.
Black Widow, it did. I saw when we were looking at news, it did way better on the second weekend.
I would like to say there are 26 showtimes for Shang-Chi and more.
Hey, they're
today.
pumping it out.
26.
Hey, I would
Just today.
I would also like to add that Black Widow was dual released on Disney Plus, and Shang-Chi
It
was
was.
not.
That is
So
true.
that
That's
is
a good
going to
point.
affect the box
And
office.
Disney did say that all their movies slated for the rest of the year are going to be on theatrical release.
Yeah, they did.
That's because ScarJo's taking him to court
They also
for all
released
they're worth.
release
She
dates.
should get her back.
Yeah.
Disney released release dates for all their movies in 2024. I saw that today.
Those will not get pushed back whatsoever.
Yeah,
those are solid dates.
I love when they do that. When they set dates that are 5 years in the future.
I don't see the point. But
it's like Avatar 2 coming out in 2014, baby.
But back to Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys think of it, Hunter?
Me?
Yeah, did you enjoy it?
I'd like to go on the record and say I am not the biggest Marvel fanboy, but I did like Shang-Chi. It was good. It was a lot better than I thought it'd be. A lot better than I thought it'd be, actually. Me and Brayden talked about this after the movie in the parking lot. My big qualm with Shang-Chi is, look, Awkwafina's really cool. I think she's been in a lot of bangers. But this movie threw a lot of shit at the wall and just hoped that some of it would stick. I think Awkwafina probably threw out 428 jokes in this movie, and maybe 100 of them landed.
Yeah.
It's a fair ratio.
Like at some points, it was really painful because we saw it in IMAX, and there were at least 100-something people in there.
There were quite a few people. It was
At
a packed
least.
theater.
And there were some times where they were throwing out jokes and not one person remotely giggled. And I was like, that's how you know that was not a good one, because this is a full theater and not one person even smiled.
Yeah, there's a joke towards the beginning of the movie where Awkwafina and Simu Liu, who plays the aforementioned
Yeah, he was a
Shang-Chi,
banger. Stock photo model
Simu Liu. They start out as valet drivers. That's their job. And so Awkwafina gets into do you remember what the car was? It's a very nice car. It was a sports car.
It was probably a BMW.
It's a BMW M8.
Hashtag
It was
sponsored.
it was a BMW M8. Yes,
Not us.
No, not us. This movie was hashtag sponsored by
Shang-Chi.
BMW. It was very clearly. And Awkwafina gets in the car, and she says, Simu Liu's character Shang-Chi is very worried about Awkwafina driving the car because he thinks she's going to go really fast and might wreck the car.
Spoiler: she did go very fast.
She did go very fast, and she says, "Don't worry, relax. I'm the Asian Jeff Gordon."
She did say that. That one was really painful.
That one did not land.
And
in
that
the
was one of
theater.
the first jokes of the movie. And when that happened, I was like, "Oh no,
not a good start.
we are in for a wild ride."
It was not a good start for the movie, and it got better, thankfully.
It did get better.
But if you don't like Awkwafina,
Oh,
I don't think you're gonna like this movie.
if
too
you don't
much.
like Awkwafina, because a lot of people don't like Awkwafina,
yeah,
you will hate Shang-Chi
she's there the whole time, and
because she is in it the whole time.
Aquafina plays Katie in Shang-Chi, for those of you.
yeah. In case
Which is literally a second protagonist.
yes, Katie is Shang-Chi's lifelong friend, or lifelong. She's known him since he's 15, I believe, is what the age was.
Yeah,
It's
15.
whenever he left.
He leaves his dad,
Yeah.
who is the Mandarin, Tony Leung.
Also a
Played by Tony
banger. He's ripped.
He finds the 10 rings, and he is ripped,
He's ripped.
and which makes him immortal, and he gets the power of the 10 rings. So he's super strong boy,
Yeah,
super strong, and
that's why he's ripped.
yes, that is why he's ripped.
He's got the
And
10 rings and the abs
Shang-Chi's
just
mother
popped out.
dies. Shang-Chi's mother dies, and then his dad is just a bitch to him, and so he leaves at the age of 15, and he meets Katie.
Typical coming of age story.
Typical coming of age story, of course, when your dad is immortal and lives for 2,000 years.
Yes.
But yeah, that's how they meet. And I don't know where I was going from there. Going to be quite honest.
I think that what we're trying to say here is that Katie's not a very charming character.
Oh yes, we're talking about Katie.
Yes.
That's what
Katie
we're
was
talking
literally my main
but
qualm with the whole movie.
It's divisive. I think Sean or Shang-Chi was a great character in this. The Mandarin was also played by Tony Leung Chu-wai.
about. Yeah, let's just
I'm
go with
probably
Tony Leung.
butchering
Just
that.
go with Tony Leung.
But
I'm going to butcher all these names.
yeah, I'm sorry.
That's why
ahead
I'm
of
not
time.
even trying.
But I really enjoyed all the other characters in this movie. I think they all did a great job. The acting was pretty good for the most part. I really enjoyed seeing Ben Kingsley as Trevor come back from the archives. That was
Iron
awesome.
Man 3. Yes.
So, yeah, Iron Man
The
3.
original
Iron Man 3.
Mandarin.
Yep. I think all of us really enjoyed the movie. I think it had. I mean, initially at least, I really enjoyed it.
What you guys think about the fight sequences?
I thought
Bangers.
they were
Yeah.
very good for Marvel. Like
Extremely good.
The first ones, much bigger bangers.
the
When they were just pure hand to hand,
the martial art
way
combat was
better, super cool.
yeah.
I agree.
Martial art combat was incredible.
Yeah, you could obviously tell they were like it was like an ode to like Asian
Yeah.
films, like Crouching or was it? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious when they were in the bus and it starts pumping like cyberpunk music,
Uh-huh.
and I was pumped up. I was like, "Yo, this is sick."
I think that might have been my favorite fight scene in the whole movie.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super cool. I thought the ones like with the rings, they were cool, but they were honestly just cool because there was so much fucking production and post processing behind them.
Yeah.
Because like, I thought those could have been cooler. Now, obviously, you can only do so much when you're fighting and your weapon is rings.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the hand to hand stuff was super, super cool. But I thought the 10 rings could have been. I mean, honestly, I don't know if it could have been cooler because I don't know how cool you can go with rings. But
Rings.
I will say, Shang-Chi is probably my favorite Marvel character who has a movie. Does that make sense?
The standalone.
yeah,
movie, yeah.
a standalone like Marvel character.
I'd agree.
Like I honestly,
Like origin film, or are you just talking about just
Yeah.
no, just in
Well,
general, just
so-
who has a
okay.
standalone movie.
So you're comparing that with like Civil War
I
and
think I
Yes.
like Thor Ragnarok.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I like him way better than all those.
Okay.
Like as a
Except,
character,
like-
or just the,
Yeah,
just
like
the-
as a
okay.
character,
Okay,
not like the movie, but just as a character.
gotcha.
As like besides like Spider-Man, maybe new Spider-Man,
Mm.
but even that, I think I like Shang-Chi more than that. I thought he was super likable, which a lot of the Marvel characters are not, in my opinion.
One thing I will say is I'm very glad that this movie actually had a good villain
That is true.
in Shang-Chi's dad, because, well, even the last movie, when we saw Black Widow, that big bad in that movie was a freaking joke.
Yeah, he
I
was
don't remember
terrible.
his name. I just know he was just like a generic Russian who was a bad guy who liked to control the girls. But
I never saw that.
Tony Leung actually had
It's not worth it.
motivations for it, and it actually had motivations for what he was wanting to do.
Yes. See, that was another part that I really liked is the villain in a Marvel movie actually made sense.
It
Yes.
wasn't. It
And
wasn't
he
a reach.
actually had motives that made sense.
Marvel has a bad history of having villains that just aren't very
That are
good,
just
'cause
evil.
They just have to have a bad guy to have a bad guy.
Yes, but yeah, that was really cool too. Is he had proper motives and he was reasonably evil.
Reasonably, and spoilers, but he turned out to be not that. Was he bad? Are we still gonna call him bad? Was he?
No, I mean, I think
I
that
wouldn't say he was bad.
his motives were, understandable.
Come
I
on,
think
man.
I think
He
that
missed his wife.
He still
Yeah.
he still killed people for a
Still-
couple
he-
thousand
he
years.
killed a few
Yeah.
people.
He's got the highest body count.
He killed a few people.
I will say if you look at his history, it definitely does not add up to him being a good guy. And but like his motive in the end was decent. I think the way that they tidied everything up was really good. I like the way they ended the movie.
Did everyone like how at the very end of the movie it was kind of just a dragon and what are those the big bad of the movie?
yeah,
What is
soul
that?
eater?
A
A soul
soul
eater,
eater.
yeah.
There's a big mother soul eater and a dragon. And that was kind of the final battle.
yeah. See, the first half of this movie was way better than the second half for me.
I think so.
Because the second half just turned into another Marvel movie.
yeah,
But at least they looked good
I guess
because infinite money. Because they
did
looked
have-
cool.
Yeah,
I will throw a spoiler in here,
Spoiler alert.
Can't see the movie.
but having Katie deliver the arrow into the
Once again, if you don't like Awkwafina, you will not like how this movie ends.
All right, yeah, don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
This had a very Game of Thrones type ending to it, where someone did not get the justice. Like you didn't see the character you want get the justice they deserved.
Good comparison.
That is true.
Yeah.
That was some cheese.
No one wanted to see Katie launch that arrow into the dragon.
Spoiler alert, learned how to fire a bow less than 2 days before she ended the mythical creature who has been haunting a village for 2,000 years.
And keep in mind, these archers have been training their whole lives to shoot bows, and they couldn't hit it. So, I mean, you know.
Katie's special, though.
Hey, she whipped out the Red Dead Redemption 2 Deadeye on him. She locked onto him.
They just didn't have the power of friendship like she did with Sean.
True. She used the power of friendship.
We haven't talked much about Sean's sister. What do you guys think of her?
Okay. Also, another part where I think they forgot she existed.
I think I don't want to be too mean. I think she might have forgotten how to act sometimes.
Okay. See, yes, I thought that too, and I was like, I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but yes,
she wasn't bad. She was okay, but there were some parts of the movie where it just didn't work.
Yeah,
and. Go ahead.
I loved what they did with her character though. I thought like the premise of her like having her own ring and everything, like her own, like she started her own identity outside.
Not the 10 rings. She has her own ring of.
It was like a whip. It's like a whip with.
Well, no, I mean,
he's talking about her organization.
I'm talking about her organization.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I thought that was awesome. But yeah, I would totally agree. Her acting was a bit subpar, and she felt like they just forgot about her at times. But I thought her character development, like in general, I thought it was a very cool idea.
I did too. I thought she was cool.
As far as acting goes, Simu Liu and Tony Leung carried this movie on their fucking backs.
Yeah, they did.
With acting.
They did.
Because there were also some points where Awkwafina was supposed to be sad or...
Don't get me started on that.
Shocked. Either. And we're shitting on Awkwafina right now, so I feel bad.
I do too.
But...
I think Awkwafina is really cool, but...
yeah, Tony Leung...
If you've seen Shang-Chi, Awkwafina has one face for the emotions of angry, sad, and any negative emotion you can possibly think of. It's one face, and I wish you could see my face right now, but it is literally just a mouth open, eyes wide, and it looks like if I told my 7-year-old niece to act upset. That is what her face looks like. Anytime something surprising, angry, or sad is supposed to be being conveyed. But hey, we love Awkwafina.
And we love Morris.
We do love
Morris is cool.
Morris.
Great character. Really good actor. I loved him.
Did you guys like the addition of Ben Kingsley and Morris?
Yes.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Awesome.
I think that comedy hit more than anything else.
That was the best.
I agree.
That was the funniest part of literally the whole movie. Anytime Ben Kingsley was saying something.
And I don't, this is the first time I've seen Awkwafina. I think she could be good. I think her role was just written very poorly in this movie. I think she could have been utilized better.
Did you guys know she was an actor or a rapper?
Oh yes. Yeah, Christian has a good fact about Awkwafina that I'm sure everyone else but us knows.
Okay, fun fact.
But hit it with us.
Yeah, so Nora Lum, she gets her name Awkwafina. That's her rapper name, actually.
Yes.
I thought it was her first and last name. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
But yeah. So she released her debut album, I think, shortly after 2012. Obviously, some of you guys might know this, but we didn't know this. I've never heard of Awkwafina as a rapper, but I guess Marvel did because they.
I know there's a lot of big Awkwafina music fans out there.
They must have liked her enough to pick her up for this great role she had in this movie.
Hey, don't forget, she was also in MTV's Girl Code.
Yes,
man, Girl Code. That's a blast from the past.
That was a good show, dude.
When
I was 13 years old, taught me a lot about women.
That's the MTV 14-year-old show.
It really is.
But yeah. So, do we want to go ahead and give our scores for this?
Yep. Yeah, we'll do scores out of 5 stars. On Letterboxd?
Yes.
Like our Letterboxd.
We're going Letterboxd.
No, percents.
Oh, we're doing percent.
All right, so here's how this is gonna work.
We're getting prepared for our
I'm
certified
gonna
Rotten Tomatoes critic scores.
I'm gonna tell you how this meter is gonna work.
Okay.
So it's gonna be the cheese meter
Cheese meter.
because we are the PodRats. And the way it's gonna work is everyone's gonna give their percentage of the movie out of 100%, and then we will average the four of our scores up for the cheese meter percent, and that will be our official PodRats movie score.
Okay, so we're gonna have to do some math. That'll be hard. All right, let me go last because I don't know yet.
All right, I will go ahead and go first then. I'm gonna give this movie a fat 85%.
All right, I'm gonna go low 90s. I'm gonna go 93 on this.
Ooh,
I
93.
I really enjoyed this.
That.
I really enjoyed this movie, honestly, start to finish.
All right. I'm gonna bring down that average a little bit. I'm gonna give it a solid 73.
Yeah. All right. You know, I'm kind of mad. I was gonna give 75. I think I'll do 75. It's a good change of pace for Marvel movies. I'm excited to see Shang-Chi and the other Marvel movies looking forward. But yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
I think a good 75. So what's our math?
All right, so
Drum roll,
that gives Shang-Chi a cheese meter score of 81.5%.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's a good score.
That's a good start. Moving forward with this podcast, that's going to be a really high score.
Probably.
We're going to shit on some movies coming up here.
See,
and love some.
We're like, can we give Malignant a score?
The opener to the podcast, we're gonna go ahead and give you guys two
let's get
two cheese meter scores.
I'm just curious about the average.
Okay.
All right, so I will of course go first since I went first on the last one and I had some strong opinions on this movie. I'm gonna give this movie a 30%. Listen, like I said, I can understand why some people would like it, and I know this is gonna throw off the average, but it was just not for me.
Well, that's fair.
Fair.
Ready for Christian's 100% coming up.
Okay, not 100.
Perfect.
I just want everyone listening to know that this movie ended, and I pulled out my phone, texted Andy, my fiance.
His fiance.
I texted her and I said, this movie was low-key fire. And then I turned to my right, and every single person, Alex, Brayden, and Parker, are all just pissed off, man.
Parker verbatim said, "Can I give this movie 0 stars?"
He did. He tried to give it 0 stars, and
also, this is the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yes,
Quote.
he did. He did say that, and I just had such strong opinions the other way. I was very confused when no one else enjoyed the movie as much as me. But I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 78. So,
I'm gonna go with a 77.
I'm going to go with 53. I'm willing that.
all right. So, with a cheese meter score of a 59.5, we have Malignant, a very, very split.
It's close to the IMDb scores.
That is a
makes
very,
sense.
very split decision amongst us, and that is about right because IMDb gave it a 6 something. So that seems to be the general consensus.
It's honestly not as bad as I thought.
It's pretty good.
We ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, we can go ahead and wrap it up.
All right.
If you guys want to go ahead and follow us on Twitter at _PodRats. We just started it up. We have 0 followers, and we're following nobody.
Please follow
So
us.
just give us a follow.
We'll suck your dick for a follow. Please follow us.
We will not.
Okay. Well,
Braden will.
well,
Also,
thank you for a follow.
You can find us on YouTube at the PodRats podcast. And we'll go ahead and put our Letterboxd profiles in the description of the video, so you guys can give us a follow if you guys want to keep up with us.
Rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I think that's what this podcast will be on.
this is our first
5
one. We
stars.
don't exactly know where this is going to go, but
Wherever it goes.
rate it. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and rate it.
If you think it's shit, just tell us, okay?
Yeah, if you've got critiques, go ahead and leave it in the comments. If there's any movies you guys want us to go ahead and review, I mean, just anything at all, go ahead and leave us a comment, have discussions. We'll
send us a DM.
We'll respond to you, man. So, I think that's it. Do you guys have anything else?
No. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, we'll talk to you when you talk to you.
I love you.
We'll be back next week. Bye, guys.